Well, good afternoon, all. I should say good evening, everyone. Owen Fritzen here with you on a Saturday afternoon. About 20 till 6 o'clock right now. We're going to bring open the radar, and this is mainly for southern Ohio. So if you're anywhere above I-70, north of I-70, this does not pertain to you. So good evening to all of you, and we're continuing here with some severe weather coverage this evening as we head into the evening hours for our friends down here in southern Ohio. Again, if you're north of I-70, you're pretty much good to go for the evening. Might be a few pop-ups here or there, but nothing in the terms of severe weather that we're expecting for you here today. We do have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings that are down here for the southern portion of the state. We're going to zoom in on those and talk about those here in just a moment. But do want to just kind of quickly highlight the fact that the Storm Prediction Center, I'll turn on the outlook here for day one. So this is this SPC outlook that was issued here a little bit ago this afternoon from the Storm Prediction Center. And this shows you here that swath of slight risk area for some severe weather. Mainly some large hails, what we're seeing. You have this marginal risk, but I would say pretty much anyone above I-70 here pretty much is done for the time being as we go in here for the afternoon hours. Let's take a quick jaunt down here to southern Ohio, kind of go into the warnings that we have in action here just for Chillicothe and that area. So just to keep you informed here, what we have on the board is we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Adams, Highland, Pike, Ross, and Scioto counties. It expires at 6:15, and we also have a severe thunderstorm warning for Highland, Pike, and Ross counties that expires at 6 o'clock. As you can see, this little line that's developed, it is starting to move off here towards the east. And it's not moving terribly too fast, but we are keeping an eye on this one for large hail. That's why it came live, is because we're seeing minor hail damage to vehicles that is possible. That's kind of what they've tagged here from the National Weather Service. They're saying 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. And these storms, they got them clocking at about 60 miles an hour. So we're keeping a very close eye on that for you, and that's the main reason I came live, is because of this large hail threat that we're seeing here. So we'll kind of zoom in for the threat here just north of Peebles. So for you in Pike County and even in portions of Ross County, we could be seeing some very large hail. So got some decent returns on radar. You'll see the triangle there with that number 1. They're saying probability of hail right now, according to radar, is 1 1/4 inch hail size right now. Now, that doesn't mean necessarily that you're going to get that, but probably right around 1 inch is very plausible for us here in the Waverly area. Excuse me, not the Waverly area, but for Pike County and Ross County. So if you're in that area, make sure you get inside and away from windows and let the storm pass. So when we're dealing with hail, we don't want to stay outside, obviously, but when you're talking about 1 1/4 inch hail, you're kind of in that happy medium here between quarter-size hail and ping pong ball size hail. Also, in the latest scan, you'll see here, this is kind of what we expected here. At this time of year, we do always see large hail. Kind of see down here by Peebles now, we're just getting that return as well for some very strong hail in that area as well for portions of Adams County. We're watching this storm cell very closely here in Adams County because it continues to show some signs of some minor rotation, but we're continuing to keep an eye on that. So nothing to totally freak out about just yet, but we are keeping a close eye on that. I'll flip over to the base velocity. It's very murky at best, and every scan or so it kind of goes back and forth, but some minor rotation, so we are keeping an eye on that one as well. So I'm going to flip back to reflectivity. I'll zoom back out here a little bit. I'm going to switch my radar back to ILN so we can get a closer look at this. But you're seeing here we're getting some strong hail returns on these throughout the cell. So I just flipped it back on. I take a minute just for it to repopulate for us here and kind of see what's going on for you folks down here in southern Ohio. So if you're just joining us, kind of zoom out here, kind of show you what's going on. Come live because of this hail is approaching, and we're starting to see some reports and things coming in for some hail that have happened, especially across some of the areas here. So a couple of the storm reports that we have coming in right now, looking at our internal dashboard here, we do have thunderstorm wind damage, a tree down on a car and power lines in Claremont County. And let's kind of see. We've got a lot of wind damage on this one, but this was from earlier. The rest of these are from earlier up in Wayne County, Logan County, Seneca County. But the latest ones coming in here for Claremont County was a tree down on a car and power lines is what they're saying. And also out of Claremont County, we got 2 reports of confirmed hail, 0.88 inches near Batavia and also 3/4 inches near Jethro. That would be in Columbiana County. But Claremont County, they got 0.88. So approaching that 1 inch mark for hail that we're continuing to watch here across the area. Kind of looking at some of the winds here. Not much going on. Washington Courthouse, the latest one, coming in at 27 miles an hour. So this is going to be pretty much a, kind of that gust front arrival type thing, and this large hail. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. I'm just kind of looking at some of the things on the backside, but that's what we got going on at this point. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to show you here too with this storm cell. I'm going to turn on the lightning real quick, and it gets very blurry very quickly when I put it on here, as far as messy, I should say. And let's go ahead and turn that on. But here's the lightning with this storm. So I got a lot of lightning coming in with this storm as it approaches and kind of moves through the area, especially in the most intense portions of the storm here for people in Adams County and Pike County into Ross County. You're seeing a lot of lightning with this storm cell. And as it moves through, I'm going to turn that back off because it gets too muddy, if you will, too murky on the screen. So zooming back out here, kind of coming way back out, you kind of see here, again, southern Ohio, this line is starting to take shape, if you will. So anybody in the mid-Ohio Valley, you are kind of need to keep your eye to the sky as we head into the evening and make sure you have a way to receive warnings just in case there is a warning or so that could be issued. One way to do that is if you jump onto our app, if you get the app Ohio News and Weather, you can search that in the App Store or the Google Play Store. Free to use, free for you, and make sure that you use granular control. You see that little location marker at the top of the little phone screen there that allows you to turn off and on certain alerts so you don't have to be bothered by things you don't want to know about. So lightning alerts or maybe even rain alerts, sometimes people don't like those. You could turn those off and you can make sure that it goes down to your precise specifications. Go ahead and flip back to radar, and we're going to put it in motion here for you, kind of see what's going on. It's kind of taking an northeasterly track right now, and we got this going at about 60 miles an hour, according to the National Weather Service, and it continues to produce that hail that we're seeing. So that's what we're waiting on, and why we came live is because of that hail. We do have a new warning that has just been issued here. So let's go ahead and get that for Hocking, Pike, and Ross counties. So that just popped up on your screen, kind of a continuation of the second warning that we had just a moment ago. So you've seen that come up on your screen here, and we'll kind of zoom in on that one. So now Chillicothe, the entire city of Chillicothe, you are now in that particular warning.
Alert.
And there comes the alert on the other side. So you'll...
Alert.
There comes the alert.
Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Hocking, Pike, and Ross counties in Ohio until 6:45 p.m.
We're testing out a few things for you here too, so that's something new we're trying here on the streams and the broadcast is having the alert auto read just a brief version of it, and might have to check the timing on that just a little bit. We only got to check in about every 30 seconds. So we do have the warning here for you. So if you're just now joining us, we have this new severe thunderstorm warning. I'll go ahead and read this. And looking here for portions of Ross County again. So the latest one is for Hocking County, North Central Pike County, and Southern Ross County. Kind of an extenuation of the one in this line that goes until 6:45. Again, they got this moving east at 60 miles an hour, and they're saying that it's 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail being the main threats here for this particular storm cell. Again, we continue to watch this storm and kind of zoom back down in here in the southern flank. I continue to watch this one very closely for a couple of reasons. I'm going to go ahead and stop the animation for you and zoom in down here. We're seeing some very dark purple's almost black coming in for the returns here just north of Peebles, between Sinking Spring and Peebles. But I'm also looking for, just to the backside of this, a little bit of rotation, and we're continuing to monitor just in case. A brief spin up is not totally out of the question today. It is very low, but it is not totally out of the question here for today as we head into the evening hours. So we do have just enough shear in the atmosphere that it could spin up a brief isolated tornado. By any means, it's not a major outbreak of tornadoes here for today. But looking right now, this is one of the major hail makers coming on radar right now, just south of Sinking Spring and north of Peebles here for you folks down in portions of Adams County and getting ready to cross into Pike County as it moves northeast. So if you're in that area, you make sure you're getting indoors and staying away from windows until the storm has passed. That's still triggering. The latest one still triggering over an inch size hail, and they're saying the hail probability you can see there of severe hail, which means 1 inch or greater, is 70 miles an hour. Kind of zooming up here towards the north with that new storm. This is mainly issued because of the hail, but also there is some strong wind gusts in with this one as well that we're continuing to keep an eye on. You see some of these darker purples here between Bainbridge and Waverly. We'll kind of zoom in here right next to State Route 772 and moving its way up off towards Chillicothe. So if you're in Chillicothe, you're probably getting some rain right now and some thunder and lightning, but as this continues to move, you might see, especially if you're in the southern flank of Chillicothe, some hail coming through with this in just a few minutes. The main part of that looks like it's going to stay south of Chillicothe, but it kind of depends on which way it rolls as we move forward here. So kind of looking here overall, we do have 3. I was kind of zoom out here, kind of see where we're at. If you're just joining us, we are in southern Ohio right now. The Storm Prediction Center has said that this area right now that's getting these warnings is right under the money with the slight risk category for this afternoon of severe weather. Again, the main damaging threats are going to be severe hail and wind as we continue to look at this. And kind of off to the south, it's marginal risk, and even to the north, it's marginal risk. For those of you north of I-70, I'm not so sure. Maybe in eastern Ohio, a couple counties along the I-70 corridor there, but pretty much northwest Ohio. Could see some rain this evening, some showers like we've been seeing throughout the day, but the severe threat is diminishing very quickly here as we're starting to head into the afternoon hours. Now, kind of right on schedule, we're starting to see the sun not at its full potential, not at its peak, but it's starting to get into that sunset mode. We got a couple more hours with this, and it's starting enough heating and enough diurnal heating that we're starting to see these storms pop up as it moves forward. All right, so if you're just joining us, we'll go ahead and zoom back in here. We're just south of Columbus, pretty much anyone I-70 and north, pretty much good to go for the day. But I'll go ahead and zoom in on this storm cell here just south of Columbus, this line of storms that continues to move. And we'll go ahead and rattle off the warnings for you. I know we got a lot of warnings, and it looks a little bit messy, but right now there's currently 3 warnings that are in effect. There's a severe thunderstorm warning for Adams, Pike, Ross, and Scioto counties. That is the southern warning right here that goes until 6:15. And then there is another warning to the middle here. This one up here is going. Let's click on this one if I can get it to click. There we go. Sorry about that. This one here for for Pike and Ross counties goes until 6 o'clock, another 5 minutes. Pretty much that one can be allowed to expire because they reissued another one. Kind of see it here overlapping. That's kind of the bigger one. That is for Hocking, Pike, Ross counties until 6:45. So we're seeing this line move through, and kind of for the severe weather, once this gets past you, pretty much be done as far as the severe threat. You could see some isolated showers and maybe a light storm as we head into the overnight hours, but not taking too much into account with that. But pretty much the severe threat will be over for your area once this gets past you. Continuing to watch an area here just outside of Piketon. My eye keeps training here to Piketon, and you kind of see this inflow notch on the backside. I continue to watch that, and just keeping an eye on that area. That's a little bit of rotation, though, that we're keeping an eye on here. Not really picking it up on radar, but I am picking it up on another product that I'm looking at off screen. So we are watching that here. Hopefully it's nothing, but I'm continuing to watch that here near Piketon, and we'll continue to see some strong hail with this one as it moves over into Ross County. Excuse me, not Ross County, Pike County. Get that confused. Moving out of Adams into Pike County. All right, so you kind of see here along this line as we continue to move forward, you're kind of seeing here we do have this line starting to fire up just a little bit to the north of this, and that's kind of what was expected. You're starting to see here above Logan, as we get up north Lancaster, we're starting to see some of these other storms fire up just a little bit. So if you're in Perry County, as this line starts to approach Perry County, it may get a little bit stronger as we head into here the next few minutes. But again, the main threat, the main damaging threat that we're seeing here, kind of twofold right now. The severe hail, if you will, continues to return right here in Adams County, and pretty much by now this one is off into Pike County. So we're watching that one as we move forward here over the next couple of minutes. I continue to watch that here right along the State Route 32 area. Continues to show strong signs of hail. So again, just get inside and away from windows. Nothing too majorly over concerning, but just want to stay inside. Don't be outside with this, because we got a lot of things going on at the same time. A couple of things being that it's going to rain pretty heavily, and then we do have some hail that could be possible, and obviously mixed in with the rain, and then obviously lightning, also a big factor here for today as well. Seeing a lot of lightning here in the southern line. Now, this morning's cells that moved across northwestern Ohio, we didn't see really anything going on there this morning. So we do have one of our forecasters that does live in Chillicothe. He is texting me right now, so he said it's pretty intense there in Chillicothe, depending on where you're at. Okay, Chillicothe is not totally in the clear just yet, but it's getting ready to cross here against 50 and State Route 104. The most intense part of that storm. So hopefully, you kind of see here as I zoom in, the town of Chillicothe proper, hopefully the most intense part of this is staying to the south, but depending on where you're at, you're still not in the clear just yet as we continue here this afternoon. So we're watching this line once again, and again, we're seeing the main threats being large hail and some strong gusty winds. Most of the winds right now kind of coming in if at all, close to 60. The radar returning them right now about 60 miles an hour, if at all, at the moment. If we turn on our base velocity, kind of looking at some of these, I'll kind of zoom in here and look at some of the winds, and maybe I can probe some of those for you. Kind of seeing here close to 60 miles an hour. Kind of plot that on the map. Kind of some of these darker oranges that you're seeing 62, 56, 61. Now, again, this is radar indicated, so this doesn't necessarily mean that it is ground truth. This is maybe a little bit up in the atmosphere, depending on where the radar beam is at. So this may not be ground truth on what is actually going on. So keep that in mind as you're looking at this as well. But you could see some of these isolated pockets that could see some gusty winds approaching 60 miles an hour. I'm going to turn on something else called the SRV, Storm Relative Velocity. I continue to watch a couple cells here, and even now, just south of Chillicothe, I'm watching a couple lines that have some minor rotation, and I'm just by Masseyville, I believe that's how you say that we're watching up here that I continue to see. Well, some minor rotation, but nothing is tightening up at the moment, but we are keeping an eye on that one here right around State Route 23. As well. So I kind of flip back to reflectivity. This is showing us how hard the rain is falling and or if there's any other objects that are in the sky. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that you see just popped up on your screen. The text will read off here in a minute once it generates. But you can kind of see for Vinton and Jackson and portion of Athens County, we now have a severe thunderstorm warning as well. And this one goes until 6:45 p.m. So you'll see that here rattle off, and you'll hear it actually rattle off here in just a second as that text is generated from the server. But so this is kind of, as this approaches those counties of Jackson, Vinton, and Athens, this is kind of what we're seeing as just strong hail and damaging winds.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Athens, Jackson, and Vinton counties in Ohio until 6:45 p.m.
I love that. Maybe we'll have to mix that up a little bit. We'll have to go with the programmer. We'll have to mix that up a little bit, get some different voices in there. But, there it comes on the other screen.
Severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Athens, Jackson, and Vinton counties in Ohio until 6:45 p.m.
Go ahead and turn that off. So I got like 4 laptops going. All right, so if you're just joining us here, I'll zoom back out and kind of show you what we got going on. We now have currently 3 severe thunderstorm warnings on the board. This one will fall off here in just the next minute or so, and it did fall off on your guys' screen. I'm still looking at another screen that it didn't fall off just yet. So, looking here, kind of zoom in, we have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings down here in the Chillicothe area. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning for Athens, Jackson, and Vinton counties. That is the newest one that goes until 6:45. Also, another one that goes until 6:45 is Hocking, Pike, and Ross counties until 6:45. And then the one down on the southern flank for Adams, Pike, Ross, and Scioto counties expires in 15 minutes at 6:15. Coming up to the top of the hour here for you. And if you're just joining us, I'll kind of zoom all the way out and kind of show you where we're at. We are in Ohio, in the southern flank of Ohio for today. Again, I'll pop up the Storm Prediction Center. Once again, the predictive outlook here, right on the money with that slight risk area. And we're starting to see some of that pop up on that line. Now, this northern line here, just north of I-70 in the marginal risk area, you're not seeing as much in the terms of development here, and I don't really think you're going to see it as we go into the afternoon hours and as we're starting to head into evening hours now as well. So if you're just joining us, we're pretty much here south of I-70, and I think it's pretty much going to stay. That's where the development's going to stay. So if you're in the Mid-Ohio Valley, as we're approaching your area right now, you're not in the clear yet. You're going to see some strong gusty winds and some large hail possible as we head throughout the evening hours. Now, again, we are not talking in terms of any type of major tornado outbreak, but we do have to kind of caution and say, hey, we can't totally rule that out 100%. So we have to keep an eye on that one because we can't rule that out 100%. We're seeing a little bit of areas of rotation that we're looking at, so we can't totally rule that out. All right, so we're continuing on here. We do have this massive severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued kind of as a precursor. They went ahead and issued this one, I don't want to say early, but they went ahead and issued this for a larger area, especially along that whole line. So we're continuing to watch that storm cell push east. And the good thing over the latest scan or so is we're not seeing the more intense portion of the hail that we had been seeing. So clear that off the screen. Down here, as we were out of Adams County into Pike County, we've seen some dark returns, really dark returns, almost black returns pinging out on radar. And that's not very nice, Miguel. I don't think that's very nice. I'm sorry that they have ruined your life, but anyway, we'll take care of that on the backside. Chillicothe, so Chillicothe, you pretty much should be out of the severe hail portion of this. You might see some lightning and some heavy rain as well, but just outside of Chillicothe towards the east. Anyway, one quick second, chatting with some people on the backside here, and we'll continue to move forward in just 1 second. Just checking some weather reports and see if we got any newest updates here. Coming in from storm reports. All right, we see one new report come in. The one new report is thunderstorm damage in Adams County. It says 1 tree down located near Seaman. So not 100% sure what that means, how big the tree was, etc. So 1 tree down. That's what we got going in thus far. So probably wouldn't doubt it. You're seeing some gusty winds, like I said. If we flip that back to the winds, base velocity, or kind of looking at the winds, you're seeing some of these winds peak out a little bit now towards Waverly. I'll go ahead and put the probe back on it here. You're seeing here 62 miles an hour, 62 miles an hour, 63, kind of getting that along this line. I'll zoom back out here. And on this northern flank, again, yeah, I mean, you're not seeing a ton. Not seeing a ton towards that 60, mainly concentrated near Chillicothe. And again, what we're seeing here, this is up in the atmosphere radar projected, so we're not 100% seeing potentially what is on the ground, vice versa. So you probably have a little bit of isolated pockets there that you have of some strong winds. But mainly right now, because this has some history of producing hail and some strong winds, that's kind of what we're looking at right now as the storm line, I should say, continues to push off towards the east. So, a couple things here. I don't know if I'm going to continue to stay live, but I just wanted to come live a little bit and talk to you about, hey, we are seeing some strong hail. I know in this area the other day we've seen the strong hail as well in this particular area. So I want to come live and give everybody a heads up, especially if you're in the mid-Ohio Valley, and you need to make sure that you have a way to receive warnings here for the next couple of hours as this line approaches your area. One of the good ways that you can do that, I'll continue to plug our app that is free, Ohio News and Weather. You can search that in the App Store, or you can search that in the Google Play Store. You can download that, and you can get very granular if you want as far as the type of warnings that you want, or watches, or even if you don't want the rain alerts or flash flooding, etc. In the app, you got to click that location, and you can get the location settings, and you can really continue to finite whatever type of alert that you want. There's a list of 20 or 30 things there. So yeah, the wind is picking up. Calhoun County, West Virginia, we don't cover your area, so I apologize, and I know where you're at, but yeah, you're still not out of the gun yet, I can tell you that, but you're still not out of the gun here yet as this line approaches. Again, it could get a little bit cranky as we head into the evening hours, especially right around sunset and when sun goes down. That's another type of time that we're kind of looking at here to see if there's any further development. What we have here is we have this diurnal type event here today. We got enough heating that's happening, but we're continuing to watch this as it pushes off towards the east, and we could see a little bit stronger development here as it continues to push off towards the east. You're starting to see this line from where we had it before starting to finally spread out as it should be, and I can't take you back as far as I want to take you back, but before it really wasn't a large line, and now it's starting to continue to pick up. But again, the big threat with this is going to be strong gusty winds, so we're looking at the possibility of straight line wind damage. I can tell you I continue to look off screen at a couple of different radars and some other products, and not really seeing much in the terms of rotation. Earlier, we'd had a couple pockets that I was continuing to monitor, but nothing in the terms of tight rotation that we would really be concerned with. Right now, it's becoming more of a straight line wind-damaging wind threat for you as we continue to push off towards the east. So pretty much as this continues to push east, and depending on where you're at in Chillicothe, yeah, I'd say it's pretty much over, but I wouldn't say Chillicothe is totally in the clear just yet, especially due to the heavy winds and some of the lightning that you're seeing. And speaking of lightning, let's go ahead and flip the lightning product back on here for you. Just seeing a ton of lightning with this one here as it moves through. So I'll go ahead and show this for you. See a lot of lightning here, and as it continues to push off towards the east, and as it was rolling through, we're definitely seeing some strong lightning as it continues to push off here in Ross County. 60-mile-an-hour winds, 68-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm kind of reading through your comments, kind of ignoring the stupid comments. But, oh, yeah, I guess that would help. I'm sorry that you're not seeing the radar. I'm sorry. There you go. One-man band here. Sorry about that. Let me show you the lightning again. Thank you for letting me know that. I'll turn on the lightning here once again to show you that. Sorry about that. There's the lightning, the current lightning that we got going on. So I'll kind of zoom in here for you once again. That's what I had done before. There you go. So you kind of see it's right along that leading front. That's where the lightning is, and we're getting the latest update in on the lightning count here over the past, this shows the threshold of 15 minutes. So a lot of lightning in 15 minutes. A lot of lightning, a lot of hail. The main intense portion of this storm, we're still getting that 1-inch hail marker coming out of Ross County as it's getting ready to, move its approach towards Vinton County. Still seeing that 1-inch hail marker. They're seeing severe hail, which is 1 inch or greater, probability of 50%, and hail overall, they're seeing that it's 100%. So what I'm going to do here quick is some people have kind of asked, I'm going to see if I can populate here populate here the model trend data for you. So give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off, and I'm going to turn off some other things so we have a clear scan of what's going on here. I'm going to turn off the severe thunderstorm warnings. I wish they put everything in one spot, but they don't. So turn that off here. Let me go over here and I'll populate. Actually, I'm going to populate those local storm reports real quick. So right now you're seeing the latest storm report that came in. I see it on my screen here is just south of Chillicothe. They're saying that thunderstorm wind damage, trees uprooted. So south here on State Route 23, they're saying trees uprooted. Not 100% sure what's going on there as well. Down here in Adams County, near Seaman, one tree is down. Then we had a hail report back here in Claremont County. Or excuse me, that's not Claremont County. That's I'll get it right one of these days. That's not even Brown County. No, that is Claremont County. I was right. Sorry, I'll get my stuff straight here one of these days. My geography. All right, I'll turn those back off for just a second, and let's take a look here. I'm going to turn on the model data here for you. I'm just going to leave the hail threats up. Yeah, there we go. Found it. All right, I'm going to flip on the model data here for you, kind of see what we're expecting here as we head into the next few hours. So let me go ahead and load this up. You're seeing the model data, okay? So we're not looking at live radar, and you can kind of see where this has started. And this is the latest one that came in as a 5 o'clock. Here's the 6 o'clock run. If I can get it to move forward here, model timeline. Of course, it's not working as it should. It's awesome. It's not loading up as it should. That's awesome. There we go. Now we got it to work. So here's kind of what you're seeing. It's not doing a great job of picking up on this storm cell here this afternoon. A lot of low-level development, but that's kind of what they're showing, man. It's kind of sporadic. So we're not going to see much in the way of any big severe threat. Let me actually flip over to let me see if the other one has see if the GFS is doing a better job. That's kind of weak. That's very weak. It's picking up where it's at. So you guys see this evening. I know that's very sporadic, but a couple storms here or there. So yeah, now the model data isn't doing a very good job today at all. I'm gonna flip it back over here. We're gonna turn off that and turn back on our NEXRAD radar here on what's going on with reflectivity down here in southern Ohio. So yeah, not a whole lot going on as far as the model data. Once this gets past tonight, pretty much we'll be ready to rock and roll here, but you should be good. Could see a couple isolated storm cells pop up in the evening hours, but really nothing to be totally threatened by as we head into the evening hours. All right, so I'm going to kind of zoom out. I'm going to kind of do one more wrap up and kind of one more thing of what's going on, and then we're going to call this good on this broadcast. We'll continue to monitor these storms as we need to, especially as they head in towards the Mid-Ohio Valley. Continue to not let your guard down. So if you're out ahead of this thing in Athens County, Meigs County, Gallia County, don't let your guard down. Morgan County, Washington County, possibly Noble and Monroe counties, and even maybe into Guernsey County. If you're in any one of those counties that I've rattled off, even in portions of Perry County, but not really, make sure that you are continuing to have a way to receive warnings this evening. And again, the biggest threat going to be some strong winds along with large hail. So the latest thing, again, is that tree uprooted there 5 miles south of Chillicothe in Ross County. So we're watching this here again, continue to watch this here. I'm going to kind of rattle off the warnings here for you one by one. This northern flank warning that's pretty much done, will be done here shortly. For southern Ross County goes until 6:45. I kind of expect that one probably to be let go a little bit early, probably another 15 minutes or so. So the one for Hocking County, north central Pike County, in southern Ross County goes until 6:45. Again, I think that one will be allowed to be expired early. Most of that is moving out of the polygon, and we'll be out of the polygon in the next 15 minutes. This southern flank one here definitely still got some strong hail wind with this one for mainly Pike County, but Pike County and southeastern Ross County, this one goes until 6:30. And again, 60-mile-an-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail. And then this polygon out front of this entire line that they issued and gave pretty good warning on this one. This one goes until 6:45 for Jackson County, Vinton County, and western Athens County in southeastern Ohio, again until 6:45. So we are looking at that, and we're continuing to watch this as it continues to move through. The biggest threat, once again, here is going to be large hail and gusty winds. And we do have a couple reports here, some trees down here or there. But again, in the terms of totally a severe threat kind of day, strong winds, once it gets past you, you're pretty much good to go. Could see some isolated showers as we head into the overnight hours, maybe a couple strikes of thunder with those as well. Can't totally rule that out. But again, if you're out ahead of this, you need to make sure that you are heeding that warning. They don't have any type of severe thunderstorm watch out ahead of this. They said it didn't warrant a watch earlier from the Storm Prediction Center. Why, I don't know. That's kind of the whole point of a watch, but I'll never understand their terminology there, and they wonder why people are confused. And you guys could say that, I'm assuming, right? How do you guys don't get confused with, we have this type of warning, and we have this type of warning, and then we have this, and then we have a watch, and then we throw in a model data, and then we throw in Storm Prediction Center stuff, and it's like, how does the end user, the consumer that really doesn't care about the weather as much as us geeky people do, they just kind of want to know what's going on. How do you decipher through all of that text? It's almost impossible when they have this type of warning and, oh, we have a severe thunderstorm warning, it's tagged tornado possible, but why isn't it a tornado warning? So all those type of things, I know it's very confusing, and we try to clear that up for you as much as we can. But we are continuing to watch this main line, and pretty much once it's past you, you're good to go for the evening hours. Again, a couple isolated showers, maybe a thunder shower possible for south of I-70 now, and basically portions of east of Chillicothe. So we're kind of in that extreme southeastern portion of the state. The rest of the state, again, isolated showers and maybe a thunder shower or two, but that's about it. The main threats for this one, again, large hail, which they're saying right around 1 inch. We're not seeing as quite a large a hail as we did the other day, which is up to the 3-inch area. We're seeing right around 1 inch hail, and then we're also seeing some strong winds between 60 to 65 miles an hour or so is what we're seeing. So that's what we got going on, and you kind of see the hail markers there. They are clocking in. It says the radar showing 50-50 shot of hail 1 inch or greater here for this one, and then we got some smaller hail down here to the south and to the north. All right, with that being said, again, one quick final plug. Make sure you can follow along with all of us. You can see the weather radar. You can get warnings. Download our app in the App Store, Google Play Store. Again, with that, the fun thing about that is you can control those granular notifications. You can get very specific on what type of warnings or watches that you want. Make sure you go to the location settings up by the little location icon at the top, and you can continue to say, I don't want lightning alerts, I don't want this alert, etc. Very granular, so that way it doesn't alert you for things that you don't want to be alerted on. All right, kind of leaving here with the radar as we go out. So again, just make sure that you continue to watch this storm cell. What I'm going to do is I'm actually not going to end the broadcast. I am just going to flip this over to no audio and let the radar loop kind of loop around here, especially in the southern Ohio area. We'll kind of watch this one. I'll kind of let it loop around all across Ohio, kind of looking around. But so that's kind of what we got going on here for now. But if there's something that happens, I'll come back live. I'll restart the broadcast for you, and we'll look at it, and we will weather through together here at Bell Park Weather Network and Ohio News and Weather. Have a great evening, everyone. We'll come back live as needed, and now we'll continue to do live radar here throughout the rest of this stream.
Alert! A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Athens, Meigs, Vinton, and Washington counties in Ohio until 7:15 p.m. Alert! A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Monroe and Noble counties in Ohio until 7:45 p.m. Alert! A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Washington County in Ohio until 7:45 p.m. Alert! A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Monroe County in Ohio until 8:45 p.m.